Hello everyone, welcome to Resinette or welcome back to Resinette. Today I'm going to be working on this turtle. You know how much fun that I have with these turtles and frogs and things. And I found this little jar mold. It's just a small jar mold that would fit probably, a couple of rings or necklace or something in there. I don't think it's big enough for a bobby pin or a hairpin to fit, but certainly a few coins or something like that. But I thought it would be really fun to try. So I've got this little holographic film that I'm going to be putting in my shell. And that came off of this roll here. Even though this roll looks kind of a gold or a rose gold, it actually just depends on the light it's in. What I did is I just held it up to the shell. I cut off a square, held it up to the shell, and just kind of wung it really, and just kind of, figured out about what I thought I'd need. And I've got fingerprints all over it, so I'm going to wipe it with alcohol before I use that piece. Let's see, this mold looks like it's got some shiny parts in there and some that aren't quite so shiny. So I'm not real sure how that part's going to turn out. This part looks pretty shiny. I like to kind of know what my mold is going to be like before I get started. I'm also going to be using one of these air cushion pins. These have become one of my favorite items, and that was thanks to one of my viewers, to Vani, for sending me that care package that had so many wonderful things. I am going to start by just painting with my pen the inside of the design of the shell, okay? And I've decided to use gold. You wouldn't need to put any kind of outline on this if you didn't want to. You could just put in the holographic film if you wanted to, but I just thought that I really liked how that last turtle turned out using a little bit of a frame on the inside. To me, these pins are wonderful because you can get these on Amazon and on Temu, but they're wonderful because when you're trying to paint it on with a paintbrush, especially if you live in a dry climate like I do, you tend to get a lot of static, and your powders will go kind of everywhere. Then you've got cleanup to do on the insides of your mold. And this really kind of takes care of it that way. A lot of you have said, oh, try spraying alcohol on your paintbrush. I have done that, and it just doesn't really work for me. So this is by far the quickest and the easiest way. And if you do buy these pens, these are made for nail art. And look at how pretty that is with that pen. Just so pretty. I really like that. Really like that effect. Got a little bit of a place where I went over there. My pen, it looks like. So, all right. So I'm going to set that to the side. Now, I need a little bit of a mixing cup. Got one of these. I use these or my cut-off water bottles, whichever I've got on hand. And I'm going to guess that that's going to take just, oh gosh, not much. Let's see. A couple ounces, I think, is all. The little head in there is just really small, so I'm going to have to make sure that I'm squeezing all the air bubbles out of that before it gets too full. And let's see, that's 2 ounces. I think maybe just a little bit more than that. Maybe it's probably going to be plenty. That's about 3 ounces there. So I'm going to pour. I've decided on my color. I hope that I'm not sorry about this part. It's always hard to tell. I was trying to figure a color that would go okay with this film. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to use a bit of my sapphire. This is the Pixis alcohol ink. Okay, I think that was 5 drops. And stir this up. And I'm going to add a little bit of my stone color to this. To darken it up just a little. Two drops. Hopefully that won't make it too dark. Oops, I just flung it all down the side of this cup. I was looking at my inks to see what else I might use, and it went flying everywhere. I am amazed when I watch the YouTube videos. Somehow, it's like the people I watch don't seem to ever have spills. It's like, how do they do that? Do they just never have spills? Do they edit it out? I don't know. Luckily, I don't get them too often, but every once in a while, I get a problem. Okay, so, yeah, you know, actually, I think I'm just going to keep it at that. Okay, you give a quick spray of alcohol in there. And I am going to go ahead and spray inside this little head, since I can't really get in there too well. Maybe all around the edges of this. Spraying alcohol in your mold is definitely a personal preference. Don't do it if you're worried about your mold. You spend a lot of money on your mold. You know, some people say it can affect the longevity of your mold. I haven't had that problem, but I really don't use very much. But I do like it to help with the bubbles. So I'm going to go ahead and pour, and I want this to go down inside that little head first. And see it. I'm putting some pressure here on the tip of the head to make sure that I'm getting any bubbles out of there. And then when you release it, if you've got, as long as it's full at the top, you can release it, and that should suck in the resin that you still have, if that makes any sense. Some bubbles coming up. Not many. We'll go ahead and pour this full. I don't see any bubbles in the legs. There's a little flippers. One little piece of lint. You wouldn't even probably be able to tell because it's on the bottom, but it still kind of bugs me. Okay, there is that. All right, so that did not take very much resin. As you can see, I made up 3 ounces and probably took about 1.5 ounces maybe is all. So that's okay. I will definitely have a different project I can use that with. So I'm going to set this over on my curing rack. So now I'm going to go ahead and just put clear in this lid. And I'm going to leave just enough room to get my little piece in there. And then cover it with resin. Let that sit for a sec. And go ahead and spray this. Get this cleaned up a little. So I'm just kind of stick it in here. Doesn't have to fit perfectly. I might have to trim it a little. This side has got some spots on it, but I'm not too concerned about that. Once I get this lid made, then I will have a template I can make for this if I want to do it this way again. But it doesn't need to fit in there flat. I don't care if it's curved up a bit. I just want the whole thing to fit inside. There we go. Don't want any air bubbles. Sure, I got that all out. If there's any. I don't see any air. covered. I fit in there pretty well. And I pushed it down because I didn't have all the resin in there. I pushed it down there further than what I would have liked. But do you see, it's in there pretty well, and I think the colors are going to turn out really nicely. Go ahead and fill this up. It might float up a little bit, which would be fine. Filling it to the top. I want the lid to fit well into the base. So let's see, is it going over at all? I don't want it to go over. It's kind of hard to tell because that film is so metallic that I can't really see. It's hard to tell where the top of the resin is. Let me see, I've got a little bit here. Just a little. Okay, I don't see any bubbles around the edge. It's got kind of some rough edges around here, around this mold, but it's not looking like it's interfering with the actual bottom part there. So, okay. All right, that's it, guys. Give it a quick spray. And then I'm going to set it aside to let it cure, and I'll be watching it for any big bubbles that come up. And this will be fun to demold this and see what we got. I still don't see any bubbles forming underneath that film that I can see anyway. There might be one or two, but okay. Well, we'll find out when we take it out. And let me just double check over here that that's not a bubble I see. Oh, it doesn't appear to be. Okay, yeah, that's actually really kind of weird to look at when you're looking down straight at it, because it's hard to see where the top and where the bottom is, but I think it's going to be pretty. All right, I'm going to set it aside, and when this is done, we will unmold it. I'll see you then. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and these are completely cured, and I'm excited to get them out of here and see how this new mold does. So this is a really stretchy mold. So it's going to come out of here really easily. See, I have a little bit of a bubble there in the foot, and another bigger bubble here. And I thought I could see down inside of there well enough to think that I did not have any problems with any bubbles. But yeah, okay. So this tells me a little bit about this mold. I did have a little bit of overages here, and this is actually not from going above. This is not going from above the mold. It's actually from inside this lip. It just kind of maybe not be the best quality of mold. I hate to say that, but I'm always willing to give those a try. I like to have a nice variety of different price points of molds and try different ones. I'm pretty sure that this came from Temu. I will post a link for it. I should have gone ahead and squeezed the feet. I was worried about the head. I made sure I had no bubbles. And these, I should have squeezed these to make sure that I had any bubbles out, and I didn't do that. But anyway, as you can see here, this is very much like a matte kind of a finish here around the bottom. And then as you see on the sides, it's a little different. It's kind of matte turn into shiny. The head is nice and glossy. Yeah, it's shaped well. I mean, I guess I don't have any complaints about it really. It's just, like I said, the price point was cheap. This is really rough around the edges here. I'm probably going to have to go in and sand this just a bit bunched up around the edge. But really, other than that, it looks like a turtle, and the shape of it's just fine. So enough of that. Let's get the lid out here. And see how this did, and see how it will fit down in there. Comes out super easy because, like we talked, these kind of molds are just so stretchy, and that part I do really like. So you can see that film really looks like it's just laying right here on top of the resin, but it's not. It's down in there a bit. So let's turn it over and see how this did. Oh gosh. Okay. So we did use the gel pen, the gold gel pen, to outline the inside of the shell. And as you can see, it kind of got lost maybe a bit. It kind of got lost a little bit with the film, but at different angles, you can really see it. Yeah, that's really pretty. Really pretty. Actually, yeah, that's actually really pretty. So let's see how it fits on the top of our turtle. Gosh, it fits just right. No problems there. I was a little bit worried about maybe it blending together okay with the quality, but that turned out really nice. What do you think? What do you think about this? So I could have gone through here and maybe done a blue trim. Or, I could have done a blue trim. Since I made the turtle blue, I could have done a blue trim around the shell. Or if I would have made the turtle green, that would have looked really nice as well. But I just kind of wanted a little something different. When I was looking at this film and I had it rolled out, I could actually see more blues and purples and pinks in it than I could the gold and green and yellow. But now through the resin, I am seeing definitely more of the green and the gold. At different angles, you can see some of the blue come through. And that's what I was basing the color of my turtle on, was some of that blue shade. I just thought it'd be something kind of different. But, all in all, I think this turned out great. I'm going to go ahead and just paint the eyes since I didn't put any in. Can you see here how it's just kind of, see if I can get this in the light just right, where it's just kind of puckered around here a little bit. I mean, I might even could just do a top coat if I didn't want to sand it. Just even it all out. Let me look at this here. See where this is showing that it's all kind of puckered like that. That would have been right here. Okay, so if you look here and here, what I did do is I did go up just a little too high. So if I wouldn't have filled that completely full, if I would have went to the top of the base of the mold and then just stopped and not topped it off, I wouldn't have gotten any of this little puckered area that shows in the mold. The other thing I can do is just take my scissors and come in and trim around that, which is probably what I'll do, to be honest. So anyway, here it is. I think it turned out just cute. Whoops, upside down. And yeah, just a fun little box. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you might do that would be different. And I will see you all next time.